Hello, this is Gerald Celente, and it's Wednesday, October 12th. Yeah, the real Columbus Day. And we have with us another paisano, Judge Andrew Napolitano, to talk about what's going on in the world in terms and what's going on in the United States in terms of our constitutional rights, our Bill of Rights, and our lost Declaration of Independence. Judge, thanks so much for being with us today.
It's a pleasure, Gerald. Good morning to you.
You know, you have an article that's coming out, Killing with Near Certainty. And it goes on to say about how President Joe Biden recently reaffirmed his own self-willed authority to kill persons in other countries, so long as the CIA and its military counterparts have, quote, near certainty that the targets of the homicide is a member of a terrorist organization. That standard was concocted by the Biden administration. So basically, they could kill anybody they want for any reason they make up. Is that?
Yes. It's not just Biden. It started by George W., expanded by Obama, who actually killed 2 Americans and defended his right to do so. Expanded again under Donald Trump, who actually gave the CIA senior leadership and military commanders the authority to do this without asking for him. Biden took that authority back and said only he can do it. All 4 presidents claim that Congress has authorized this. That, of course, is baloney. First of all, Congress can't authorize willy-nilly killing. Congress can only declare war on a determined and precise and finite group or government with an end to the declaration of war. But in 2001, Bush persuaded a Republican Congress to give him the authorization to use military force, which was supposedly to chase down the people that he failed to see coming on 9/11. All 4 presidents claim that that is still valid for them, even though they're not actually chasing those people. They're dead or caught or gone. They still claim the authority to chase whoever they want. The second authorization to use military force is as farcical as the first. You and I have talked about this many times. This was the authority for Bush to invade Iraq, to take away the weapons of mass destruction from Saddam Hussein, which we now know and knew then that he didn't have. So all the presidents claim the power to kill whoever they want without transparency, without the rule of law. This is all against the Constitution, and this is all in violation of the 4 Geneva Conventions, which we wrote and ratified, and the UN Charter. Not a fan of the UN, but it is still a treaty which the U.S. wrote and ratified, and of course, which governs this. Not only does the Constitution not authorize it, these treaties prohibit this willy-nilly killing. I raise this for 2 reasons. One, because Biden just signed this secret order last week, and then his people leaked parts of it so that we would have this conversation. 2, because as we speak, Gerald, and you and I know this, but now it's pretty much confirmed, special forces, American special forces, we don't know the number. Colonel McGregor estimates it as more than 100 because they don't move in groups of fewer than that, are on the ground in Ukraine, teaching Ukrainian soldiers how to use American hardware to kill Russian conscripts, as if those Russian conscripts are a threat to the life, liberty, and property of the United States, which, of course, we all know they're not. So this conversation, in my view, is warranted. Biden's view of his ability to kill is just as warped, just as immoral, just as unconstitutional as his 3 predecessors.
You know, the Obama's quoted in the book Double Down as, quote, I'm really good at killing people. Because of when he used to kill people with his drone strikes. And I think the number comes up like, 40,000 or something. There's some ridiculously high number of people that have been slaughtered and throughout the administrations. And you write here, terrorists, they call them terrorists. terrorists cannot be standard for murder because it's subjective. And you go on to say that to the poor folks in Libya and Syria, and to the popularly elected governments toppled by the CIA-inspired violence, to the innocents tortured at black sites around the world, the CIA is a terrorist organization.
Yes. Yes, to King George III, George Washington was a terrorist. It just depends on which side of the aisle you're on. That's not a standard for killing people. The only moral standard for killing someone is to stop them from actively killing you or others. Now, that doesn't mean a Iranian general going to lunch with an Iraqi general. That doesn't mean Anwar Awlaki and his 16-year-old kid and the kid's buddy sitting at a cafe, an outdoor cafe in Yemen. It only means somebody who's actively killing. None of these drone strikes have, as far as we know, because some of them are secret and not revealed. One thing I'll say about Obama is he did reveal these. Trump kept them secret, and Biden is keeping them secret. But they don't target people who are engaged in violence. They just target people the presidents want to boast that they have killed. The lust for power in these people is so overwhelming. Think of it, Gerald. The ultimate power is the power to kill. And they love using it, the presidents, particularly these four, because they know they can get away with it.
You know, let's go back and look what's going on just a couple of weeks ago, last couple of weeks, that they keep bragging that they've killed these, terrorists in Somalia. You know, what are we doing in Somalia?
Nothing. There's no national security interest in Somalia. It's inconceivable. No. It's inconceivable that something happening in Somalia would threaten the life, liberty, or property of anyone in the United States. We haven't declared war on Somalia, so there's no legal, constitutional, or moral basis for our being there. But all four of these presidents have kept troops there. Well, look, war is the health of the state. War allows the Dick Cheneys and the Lloyd Austins, current Secretary of Defense, formerly on the board of Raytheon, to enrich Halliburton and Raytheon and the other arms manufacturers. It keeps the military from being bored and allows these presidents to keep killing. When we do this, we don't export liberty, we export force and violence. And every once in a while, like on 9/11, it comes back to us.
You know, they're killing people in Syria. The Americans are still in Syria. And of course, the part of Syria they're in is where they're stealing their oil. But again, they keep killing people over there under the name that these are terrorists. So let's turn this around. Let's suppose that Syria or Somalia came to the United States and killed people here because they said they were terrorists that threatened Somalia or Syria. Oh, that would be fine, right? I mean, anybody could come to America and kill anybody that they want because, quote, they're terrorists. Oh, that would be a sin. That would be terrible. How dare they? But America could go all over the world and kill anybody that they want under the name that they're terrorists. So what we're looking at, as I see it, this is satanic and demonic.
Yes.
And no one is coming out against this.
Yes.
Where are all of the religions? Where are the Episcopalians, the Catholics, the Baptists, the Lutherans, the Jehovah Witnesses, the Seventh-day Adventists? Where is everybody? How come no one is coming out against the mass murder going on and the bragging of we're going to send more weapons and 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 more weapons to kill as many people as we can so Russia is defeated in Ukraine? How come nobody's talking about peace?
Very, very few people talk about peace. A gaggle of libertarians like you and me and a lot of our friends, McGregor and Ritter and Giraldi, and some progressives at the far left wing of the Democratic Party talk about peace. But for the most part, this is a bipartisan killing orgy, a bipartisan killing orgy. This is where the Republicans who claim they hate Biden stay silent because they don't want to support him, because if you say something nice about Biden and you're a Republican office holder, then Trump comes after you. But they, of course, in their hearts support all this killing. I mean, this is exactly what Lindsey Graham and his crew have been lobbying for years, killing. Graham, of course, is the one who said we should send a team to assassinate Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
As if that wouldn't start World War III. Look, we are very, very, very close to World War III.
Oh,
Last night, when the president was interviewed by Jake Tapper on CNN, he was, though personally measured in his emotion and passion and words, forceful and reckless in his use of language to taunt and threaten Putin, as if to say, we're ready for World War III. We're not ready for World War III. Nobody in their right mind wants World War III. But Joseph R. Biden and his State Department and his Defense Department are moving inexorably in that direction. I wish that Jake had said to him, hey, Mr. President, a lot of people claim that there are special forces on the ground in Ukraine. Are they there or aren't they?
Well, we have an article in the Trends Journal this week. They are there.